Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I am continuing to work on my scrappy blanket, and this one I kind of color themed it pink, and this year I'm doing a lot of starch busting project or just using up what's already in my stash. And for this blanket I decided to use up all the pinks that I have, and this is actually the second starch busting or scrappy blanket that I have worked on this year, but it's also my fourth starch busting project of the year. So I'm just using up all the pinks, and I had a lot of pinks left over from baby blankets that I made in the past. And for this project, I am holding a worsted weight and a DK weight. And I love the way it's turning out. And this is what it's looking like. And I'm gonna try and leave a picture of the whole thing so that you can see what it looks like. But it's got all kinds of shades of pink, and I love it so much. And I also like the way the fabric feels. It's not super heavy, but it's still going to be warm. And I'm holding, most of this yarn in this blanket is leftover Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn, number 4. And this particular color is called Rosy Cheeks, but there are all kinds of pinks here. And then I'm holding it with this Baby Delight. I think that's what it's called. It's called Baby Bee Sweet Delight Pump, and that's this one. But in this blanket, I have all kinds of DK weights. So this is just what I'm working with at the moment. And I am really, really enjoying this process. It's really smooth. And I think part of it is because I am using my False crochet hook. And this is a number, it's an M or 8mm. And it's such a smooth process. I'm really, really enjoying it. And I'm almost done with this one, and I should be done in the next, I think I should be able to finish it this week because I only have like maybe 10 more rows to go. And then I'll work on the border, and then I'll be done. And for this blanket, I'm using a lot of different yarns, and so there's a lot of joining. You know, just as I ran out of one yarn, I'm adding another one. And I recently discovered Magic Join. And to me, if you're working on a scrappy blanket, that is the best way to join your yarn, because I personally don't like weaving in tails. I detest that, and it kind of slows my process. And so this method ensures that you have no tails to weave in, which is fantastic for me. So once I'm done with the blanket, I'm just going to trim the tails. And you can actually trim them as soon as you join. I've seen people doing that. But I'm leaving mine, and I'm going to trim them as soon as I'm done with this blanket. But there'll be nothing to weave in, just trimming, which is exciting for me, because this, I don't remember if I did Magic Join in my previous scrappy blanket, but that one had so many different colors, I can't remember. But I feel like on this one, I have really focused on that, and that has really, really been helpful for me. And it has made this process really, really interesting and really easy and smooth. And so once I'm done with this blanket, I think I'm on a crochet roll right now. I'm doing a lot of crochet, and I think that I'm going to make a blue blanket. So the main color is gonna be blue, and then I'll add other colors as I find them. So I'm going to gather together all the blue that I have and see if I can do some type of planning. And this one, I wasn't really planning it as much. I was just looking through my stash and grabbing the pink that I had. and then trying to pair it with something that was a little bit contrasting. And it worked in some spots, but not in all of them. But the whole blanket together looks really good, and I am so happy with it. So I'm going to show you how I do the magic join, and then we'll go from there. And I'm going to use some a different yarn because I don't need to join this right now, but I still want to show you how I do it. So let's do that. So let's do a magic join. So you're going to take your two yarns and you're going to lay them flat facing opposite directions. So the green one is facing that direction, and then this one is facing the opposite direction. And then you're going to pick up the yarn, and then you're going to tie this one around the green one and leave yourself a little bit of a tail. So you're going to tie a knot, and then you're going to tighten it. And then you're going to flip the yarn the other direction, and then you're going to take the other yarn and you're going to tie a knot around the other yarn like that. And then you tighten it. And then once you do that, you're going to hold your yarn and you're going to pull. So the green one and the pink one, so you're going to hold and pull. And then pull it tight, but be careful not to break, especially if you're working with natural fibers. So pull and tighten that. And this is really snug, it's not gonna come apart. And then you can, at this point, you can trim the tails. You can actually trim it close to if you like, but I usually leave a little bit of a tail. And that knot is really secure, it's not gonna fall apart. And so continue working on your project and you won't have any tails to weave in. And that is how I do my magic knot, and this has been very helpful because I don't have any tails to weave in once I am done with my project. And the next project that I wanted to share with you is my new pair of socks that I cast on. And I recently finished a pair of socks, and I find socks an easy grab and go kind of project. And so I've decided to make, at least to have some socks as a work in progress so that I can have something small to grab and go. And this is my new pair of socks that I'm working on. And that's the yarn I'm using. I don't know if I have the label. Oh, I do have the label. So the yarn that I'm using is the West 7th wool. And this is, it's 437 yards in a 100-gram ball of yarn, 85% extra fine merino and 15% nylon, and it's a fingering weight, and it's a hard wash in cool water, lay flat to dry. And so the color, I don't know if there is a colorway. The colorway here is called Trinity River. So very beautiful green color, and I've bought yarn from this from West 7th wool quite a bit, but I think this is the first time I'm using something, and it's also part of me using up stuff that's in my stash. So this is the first sock, and I am at the heel, and I'm actually working on the short rows. And I guess I left it in the middle, but I think if there's no other way, if you're working on the short row side, you just have to, if you stop, you're going to be in the middle of a row. So that is what I have so far. I like it. I like the way it's turning out. and I love this color so much. So I'm going to show you the progress as soon as I work on it some more. And this is what I'm taking to work and working on it during my lunchtime. So that is what I'm working on. And I'm using the sock matation toe-up method sock recipe. And these are going to be for me. So it's just another pair of socks because I have stayed for a long time without really making socks for myself. I usually give them away once I'm done, but I think I'm going to keep this pair. So leave a comment below and let me know what you're working on, whether you're knitting or you're crocheting, and whatever you're working on, I hope that you're having a good time. And until next time, happy knitting and happy crocheting.
You as you drive, do you know I'm looking, and I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put